Hey, I know I run the risk of upsetting a couple of people here, and that is neither my heart or my intention. But being in America when Charlie Kirk was murdered, assassinated, martyred, was very moving to see all the giant US flags flying at half mast, etc. But what got me more is the incredible amount of people, from the president to the vice president, politicians, celebrities, movies, sports stars, commentators, people from all walks of life. People speaking so openly and boldly about their faith in Jesus Christ, the faith that Charlie Kirk had, and talking about God and talking about how we need Him and how we need to return to the morality of Christianity, etc. And I know if all you did was watch some liberal media, CNN and CBS and so forth, and even unfortunately, our local mainstream media in New Zealand, you would not have heard the large, huge number of people from all walks of life speaking up about Christ, speaking up about the gospel. It made me glad, but also it made me sad. I was glad to hear the hundreds of thousands proclaiming loudly and proudly about Jesus Christ, but sad also as I think about New Zealand and how silent Christians are in New Zealand. You may say to me, well, Peter, that's not our culture. Well, my friend, we all breathe the atmosphere we create, so why not change our culture? I mean, even Jesus said to shine your light. And we love that little song, don't we? This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. I mean, it's cute, kidsy and all that stuff. But, he also said, and let's just be bottom line here, he also said, if you deny me before men, I'll deny you before my Father. But if you confess me before men, I'll confess you before my Father. Here in America, they're saying the murder of Charlie Kirk is not only a wake-up call, but a turning point. The very name of Charles' organization, Turning Point USA, that he built in under 10 years. He's only 31. He was a father, a husband, of course, and I don't know whether you heard Erica's beautiful statement that she made us on YouTube just after he passed and was murdered. I mean, incredible. What a woman of faith she is. And Charlie built the largest youth political movement that's ever been built. They're comparing this event to 9/11, saying America will never be the same again. And people are rising up, speaking out. But where are you, New Zealand? Will it take someone to be shot in our country to make it happen? The apathy in New Zealand is unbelievable. Now, let me cut to the chase. And please, I don't necessarily know these people. I'm going to name and shame some people. It's like calling people out, I guess, out of the closet. I don't know. But I don't know where they stand with God today. I'm just saying that once I heard that they were Christians, and if they are Christians, where is their voice? People who've got some influence in New Zealand, so-called celebrities or commentators, sports stars, politicians, who in the past, as I said, I've heard them say that they're Christians, so-called celebrities like Tony Street, Simon Barnett, Petra, and many others. Where is their voice publicly for Christ today and for biblical morality? Maybe they're saying it and I just haven't heard it, in which case I'd apologize. But I'm just using them as an example of the many who claim to be Christians or, some kind of faith. I know they're Christians and they're Christians. Hello, I've been around a long time now. I'm one of, if not the longest serving pastor in New Zealand, and who by the grace of God has built again by far one of the largest, most influential churches in New Zealand. I'm not boasting in myself. I'm just a simple kid from Taranaki, but having a go for God. But, there are those in white collars right now chaining themselves to Nicola Willis's office door in the name of Palestine. Do they not know that the chant from the river to the sea is calling for the annihilation of Israel? Hey, no one wants to see starving children, people displaced, killed, and, but they have not been there, and all that we see in our media is not always true, and I digress, but I do digress. I want to get back on track. Politicians, let me call a couple of politicians out. I've heard Simeon Brown, Chris Pink, Barbara Lee, and others, say they're Christians, but where is their voice for Christ? Where is their voice for Christian morality in government and in the media? I know even our Prime Minister Christopher Luxon once confessed Christ in his maiden speech, but today all he confesses is Islam, Hindu, Hare Krishna. I mean, it's unbelievable. I posted on it in the past, but even when Simon O'Connor, who was an MP once, a national MP, He works for Family First now. But, when Roe versus Wade was overturned in the States, Simon put up a post. He said it was a great day for America, or along those lines. But guess what? Luxon made him take it down. Yet the same man, Mr. Luxon, claims to be pro-life. Yeah, right. So where are our Christian politicians or their faith? Why aren't they speaking up? Are they hiding their light under a bushel, playing the political career game? And what about our sports stars? There are many, many Christian players in sports. I mean, most Polynesian players, praise God, have a faith. And I have to say, good on Avia Savea, who speaks up. But where are the others? Oh, that's right, of course. You remember Israel Folau and what happened to him, right? And his dear wife Maria, when he said, and correctly so, that marriage is between a man and a woman. It cost him his reputation, his career. He was humiliated in the media before people, and yet I know and believe that his reward will be great, just like Charlie Kirk. For it's true, as said, the further society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. Can I just say that again? It's true. It's been said, the further society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. There's a great interview of Israel and Marie Folau that has just been released by Family First on YouTube, and it's well worth watching it to get a better understanding of their belief and their morality and what they stand for. But where are our Christian celebrities? Where are our Christian politicians? Where are our Christian sports people? And pastors? Pastors. Most pastors just want to keep their head down, build their church without rocking the boat, be liked by the community, while society becomes sicker and sicker. I mean, who would have believed 10 years ago that we would have drag queens reading stories to in public to toddlers? Or do we just leave it up to Destiny Church to do something about it? I mean, they've had to do something radical because the vast majority are silent. Who would have believed that, a 10, 12-year-old would be given life-changing puberty blockers, or worse still, undergo surgery, cutting off their breasts and penises, etc.? What brutality are we allowing on our children? Every Bible-believing Christian knows that just as Jesus said, in the beginning, God made male and female, and the man shall leave his wife, the man shall leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one. You cannot biblically marry a person just because you love them. Just because the politicians have made it a law, that does not make it right. Even in law, you cannot marry your sister. You cannot marry your cousin just because you love her. You can't marry your dog, your cat. Come on, Christians. Why don't we be bold? Why come under the culture of the world? Where are the Christian lawyers just making money, not wanting to put your head above the parapet? Every Bible-believing Christian knows abortion is wrong, murder is wrong. And if you don't believe that, go into the operating theatre and look at the scan of that little innocent life, those little hands and feet, eyes that are forming, and watch the murderous surgeon who vowed to do no wrong rip or suck that little life out of the womb. I'm just bottom lining it. Where are the Christian doctors? I know some are speaking up, but many are silent. Too many are silent. Many even lost their license speaking on their views on the COVID vaccine or mandates. I mean, how sad is it? We're in such good need of doctors and nurses and the teachers who lost their job and so forth. Every Bible-believing Christian knows the morals and the values of the Bible. Everyone can read what is sin and what is not. It's very clear when you read the book. It's all in the New Testament for all to see. Don't try to tell me it's all in the Old Testament. You're either lying or you're biblically ignorant. And if you think the Bible is outdated or irrelevant it's because you've been tainted. You've been compromised by the culture of the world. So where are the Charlie Kirks in New Zealand? Silence is not golden. It is surrender. And the far left woke wants you to be silent. Well, that is why they call you names like racist and homophobic and intolerant, and even, of course, Hitler. I mean, how crazy is that? I've said it before, that evil rises when good men do nothing. Now, New Zealand, unfortunately, continues to slide in the wrong direction. And I can tell you now, we'll never fix the economics of the country. We will never fix the violence that is happening in our every day in our country if we continue the way we're going. I could go on, but simply, as the Bible says, it is righteousness that exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. So, Tony, Simon, Petra, Simon, Chris, Barbara, pastors, even friends of mine, and a host of others, that when are we going to speak up publicly for Christ? not just behind the four walls of a church? Are we going to speak up loudly on the morality issues like abortion, the mosque, temple statues that are going up crazy in our once Christian nation? If you are, and I haven't heard it, again, I apologize. Please, this is not personal against anyone. I'm just using people as an example because I heard once that they said they're a Christian. And if so, and all of you, all so-called Christians or Christians, all of you unnamed in this post, people from all walks of life, for the sake of the country, for the sake of Christ, would you be one who's prepared to speak up? Speak up at your work, speak up at school, be bold and unashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, be bold and unashamed of the morality of the Bible. Let's start to declare New Zealand again as a Christian nation. It is true that immigration from Islamic countries are changing the face of the world. We see many countries like the UK, Sweden, France, Germany. I mean, they've got major problems right now. When the wave of immigrants swept through Europe 10 years ago, many churches reached out, offering them food, shelter, clothes, and many of the Muslim immigrants became Christians, and we rejoiced in that. We actually, as a church, sent much finance over to help our pastor friends there to help them reach out to these people. And while that side of it may have been good, it was a little bit like the Trojan horse. For today, the majority of those immigrants have not accepted the culture of the land they've come to, but they brought in their own ways. And the extremists want Sharia law, and sadly, they're even raping young girls as they see it as their right, and so forth. So Europe is in big trouble today. And I would hate New Zealand to have the same problems. I mean, Poland and Hungary, they did not allow the Islamic refugees in, and those two countries are doing well today. I see some of our politicians are discussing about having a process for people coming to New Zealand to be taught about the culture of our country. But sadly, right now, it would be all about secularism and marriedom and the extremity of that rather than Christian values that built our country and made it what a beautiful country it was. So let's see and hear the silent majority no longer be silent. For now is the time. I believe now is the hour. Let's be strong. Let's be courageous. Sure, it might cost you. It did Charlie Kirk. But can I just say, sadly, with a lot less publicity, and this happens on a regular basis, but just last week, another 100 Christians were macheted to death in the Congo. But I could say, well, who cares about them, right? How sad is that? There is an attack on Christianity worldwide, make no mistake about it. But we either speak up now or be too late for us and too late for our children and our grandchildren. What a sad world presently, but I believe we can change it. Yes, maybe it's changing it one life at a time, but let's not just leave it up to me to speak up or to Bishop Brian to do his thing about it. New Zealand Christians, let's rise up for Christ's sake. Let's be, as I said, bold and unashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, because it's the power of God to salvation to whosoever believes. So morality is important. It's important for a nation because, as I said, it is righteousness that exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any land. And so I hope and pray that, you take this in the spirit that it's said, and those people I mentioned don't take it personal. But hey, I'm calling you out. I'm saying to Christians, where are you? Let's stand up and let's be bold. Let's be brave for the sake of our future. The New Zealand, which once was a Christian nation, and we know Helen Clark, unfortunately, declared our country no longer a Christian nation, but a secular nation. And, she's socially engineered. And since then, we've seen prime ministers. We could talk about Jacinda Ardern and other politicians, but even Christopher Luxon, Mr. Luxon, can't, for God's sake, do something about your Christian faith if you say you're a Christian, and let's see our nation turn around for God. So in any case, I'll leave it at that. But hey, God bless you all. We'll catch up with you. Bye.